Hi everybody, welcome back to Mondays with Mike. We're heading into the holidays now, but it's still definitely a pretty tight seller's market, and I'm going to actually try to help the buyers out a little bit today, because a lot of my buyers I've been working with run into this time and again. We've been seeing all these bidding wars, right? I think most people know what a bidding war is, but just very briefly, it's a situation where you have multiple bidders on a house and it's going neck and neck. You put an offer in, you find out that there are multiple offers, and you have to basically just keep incrementally increasing, or at least increasing in general. So bidding wars can be very tough psychologically for a buyer. There are typically two ways that a seller or a seller's agent are going to handle a bidding war. Let's assume we have a big one, 10, 12 people, all with high offers that are around asking price or over. They may give everybody one counter and say, this is the counter offer, can you meet it? Maybe it gets drawn out a bit beyond that, but more like than not, you're gonna run into the, we need your highest and best. We need your highest and best, and that can be really difficult for a buyer to focus on and digest, because you're really being asked to bid against yourself in some cases. Let's say we've got an offer of $450, that's the listing price in our example. You've put that offer in, you're going to put 10% down, which is $45,000 for this offer. You know, if you're being asked to come back and then bid against yourself, highest and best, you're left with a ton of questions. You know, there are 10 or 12 other people, how high are they willing to go? And it's really hard to come up with something that you know is going to be definitive. The goal is to secure the house, right? You want to be the lead bid. There are really two considerations that you need to have. And one of them is not, how do I beat the seller in this situation? You have to keep in mind that it's not you versus the seller, it's you versus the other buyers. The seller is always looking to maximize deal terms. How much money am I making? How strong is the offer? It's not against the seller, it's having the seller choose you against all the others. So I'll touch on one of the considerations, appraisal risk. You're going to be working, I assume, with a really good realtor, maybe me, and they're going to go through what are the risks of it not appraising. We've talked about this on past episodes. I'm not going to rehash it. Suffice it to say, if it doesn't appraise, if you have a good realtor and a good lawyer, you're going to be covered, except in the most extreme bidding war situations. You'll have an out if it doesn't appraise, and you'll have a chance further down when you've secured a contract to be able to renegotiate there. The bigger consideration, and this is what gets a lot of buyers, is how does it affect the bottom line, right? Because you don't want to have to pay more than you need to, but you're being put in a situation where they're telling you, you need to go to your highest and best. If you're well below your price point, let's say your pre-approval was $500,000, so this is well within the range if it's $450, but you still don't want to pay too much, and maybe you're questioning, how is this going to hurt me? So let's follow through the example a little more. It's $450,000, 10% down. That would leave you with a loan of $405,000, okay? We're gonna make some broad assumptions here. Let's assume you're getting a 4% interest rate. Let's assume $10,000 a year in taxes, and let's assume $100 a month in interest. These are the components that are gonna make up your monthly payment, right? If you go into bankrate.com, if you're working with a mortgage professional, definitely don't feel like you're bothering them to ask them to run this calculation. That's part of what they're there for. But just for purposes of the example, I went into bankrate.com and just plugged these things in. It's pretty easy math for a mortgage calculator. Your payment in this scenario is $2,775.19. Okay? So let's just, again, for purposes of the example, say our highest and best is going to be $460. We're going to go $10,000 over our last offer. I picked $10,000 because you can multiply from there. If you want to do $20,000, just basically double everything in the mortgage calculator, or double that amount, and you'll be able to figure it out. So we're increasing $10,000 to $460. Now our down payment is $46,000. The new loan amount is $414,000. We have the same interest rate, we're assuming, taxes and insurance. Look what it does to the monthly payment. $2,818.16. Okay? And if you can't do the math that quickly in your head, or if you have trouble seeing, that's the difference in your monthly payment. $42.97, basically for another $43 a month. and $1,000 out of pocket, right? Because you went up 10,000, 10% of that, which is your down payment, is $1,000. For an extra $1,000 at closing and $42.97 until you sell or refinance or do whatever with the loan, that's the difference that $10,000 can make. Very minuscule out of pocket, very minuscule effect on your payment when it's amortized over 30 years. I may not have mentioned that's a 30-year loan we were looking at, but it seems really complex. Good mortgage banker, I think Greg Ahern, when he was on here a few weeks ago, may have touched on this. Good mortgage banker, or even if you want to just use a quick calculator, you can see that it's really worthwhile to go in big when you love a house. And remember, it's about beating the other buyers, not about beating the seller. Okay, took up enough time. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next month, maybe with some holiday buying tips. Take care.